one thing I found was, when I'm in Thailand training out of Tiger Muay Thai, I'm
Hmm.
just one coach. I'm one piece of the puzzle. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
I run the strength and conditioning. There's going to be a boxing coach, maybe there's a Muay Thai coach, maybe a
Yep.
Brazilian Jiu Jitsu coach, a wrestling coach, an MMA coach. So um, in the past, I have found it difficult to tie in with some of the other coaches
Yeah.
whilst I was in Russia, and something that I'm building out at Tiger at the moment. But whilst I was
Mhm.
in Russia, there was a striking coach, a grappling coach, myself, strength and conditioning coach, and our
Mhm.
communication was on point. Like, we were in fight camp together. Like, it
Sure.
wasn't like we were going home every night. It was like we were all on the camp together. It was almost like being on military base again.
Yeah.
So we were having all of our meals together. We are having all of our training sessions together. I was spending like 4, 5, 6 hours with these dudes every single day, man. So I could see
Yeah.
how they were acting, how they were moving, what their body language was like, what their energy levels were like, how their recovery was, their sleep, their stress management, etc., etc. And I was in constant communication with the other coaches to say, hey, man, like, I'm going to be pushing him hard for
Yep.
our our speed and power endurance for the next couple of weeks. I need you to pull back the afternoon sessions.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do a high session. You're going to do a low to moderate session.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that process for you. How have you been able to kind of build that network with the other coaches that you're working with in conjunction with the athlete that you're working with? Because
Yeah.
that's a difficult jigsaw puzzle to put together.
It's probably the most difficult thing that we have to juggle, right? Or we have to get through. It's a definite. I don't want to say it's a roadblock, but it is something that it's a hurdle that we have to get over. And so for that, it is good to have that constant communication. It's good to actually be in the same room, in the same gym, if you can. That was where we used to really have good synergy when it came down to like communication between skills coaches. And I would, for the most part, let the skills coaches dictate the training demands of the skills practice, obviously. But I would make sure that I wasn't the guy that was like, oh, they got to strength train or they got to do this. Now, if I felt like that was important for that particular individual, if they were very highly skilled, but they lack that strength, then that would be the importance of that particular camp or off camp or whatever have you. So there would be times where I was the hierarchy of importance, and then there was times where I was the lowest on the totem pole, which I have no problem either or, right? So yeah, that is going to be the hardest thing, and I get this question a lot from my coaches that work with or the work outside of the gym, and then they can't call up the skills coach, or the skills coach has an ego and they don't want, you know what I mean? And you'll run through that pretty much 90% of the time. You're going to have that
And you're
95% of the
constantly,
time.
yeah, dude, and you're constantly being reactive, man. You're constantly being reactive. You're like,
Well,
oh, I'm planning on doing this session today, and then your athlete walks in, their head's down, they're dragging their heels, their body language is off. You go through some balance and stability work, and they're all over the
sure.
place. And you're like, oh man, the CNS is fried. Like, I need to back them off a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be able to auto regulate, like
Yep.
100%. That was one thing that I got really good at. Like, is calling audibles right on the spot. And you're
Hmm.
gonna have that. That's 90%, 98% of the time, right? You're looking at, all right, well, they're coming in. There's probably gonna be something that's hurting, or something that's off, or they're fatigued from something else. And so you want to have a structured system, but you also want to be able to have a little bit more mobility in how you transition things. So yeah, the main thing is like, get a hold of the coaches, right? Make sure that they have your number, make sure you have their number, make sure that you can open up lines of communication. Then you have to not just buy in for the athlete, it's also buy in for the skills coaches. So that comes with making sure that they understand that that this is one small piece of the puzzle, right? And even if you feel very passionate about strength and conditioning, which you should because that's who you are, just know that they don't feel that way, right? And you can't have an ego and think like, this is crazy. Like, and I know a lot of coaches are like, that's bullshit. Like, they should think this is important, and they don't. It doesn't matter, right? So if they don't think it's important, you have to make them think that you're a part of the team. And whatever you can do to help with that, go ahead and do that, right? Now, I'm not saying abandon ship and abandon your programming and abandon all the stuff that you put together. definitely do that because you know that that's going to work for them. But in order for you to actually cause a positive relationship, if the guys that you're working with or the girls that you're working with are not in line with your values and your physio or your philosophy of training, right? You have to play the game in a sense, right? So you have to make sure that you're doing everything you possibly can on your side, but also telling them certain things that they actually need or that they want to hear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time. Now, I'm not saying manipulate the situation, but you know what I mean, right?
Influence.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, I love that, man. Mate, great conversation. I really appreciate your time, man. Last one before I let you go. If anyone wants to follow you, they want to get in contact, they want to learn from you, where can they find you, and what do you have going on this year?
Yeah, we got a lot going on this year. DaruStrong.com, you can find out all the programs, the mentorship program. That's for coaches that want to learn directly under me, the methods, the systems, the protocols that I use. We have over 1,000 coaches worldwide, so you can do it from anywhere around the world. It's online. We have calls bi-weekly, and then we also have a chat group where these guys are sharing information on a daily basis. There's so many ebooks and audio books that are being shared there too as well. Q&As like pretty much every other week. And then all the information that I gathered over my 13 plus years of doing this at the elite level. So that's really something there. We have an online gym where you can do one-on-one coaching, specified programming for yourself. And it's also 50% off right now. So you can get that. And then as far as new stuff coming out, don't really want to put it out too much, but we are coming with a supplement. We're doing pre and post workout, so I'll make sure you get a batch of that. And then and also, and I'm looking at my vision board right now. We got a combat sports seminar in my gym in Boca Raton, Florida, in April, and then I am also doing. We got 2 new programs coming out. So we have Body Armor, which is the body weight only program. It's 2.0, so it's the second one I'm coming out with, and that one's really good for the people that can't make it to the gym. So trying to help out as many people as possible in that aspect. And then the podcast, my own podcast, Daru Strong Podcast, good podcast. We got about 82 episodes right now, so going strong and gonna keep it going. So YouTube channel, if you guys want to find out any more free information there, that's growing daily. And then as far as my Instagram is at Daru Strong. Very simple.
Awesome, man. I'm going to have all of those links in the show notes. I really appreciate your time, Phil. You've been somewhat of a mentor for me for the last couple of years as well, mate.
Man,
So I really
man,
appreciate you
that's
giving me
that's
the time,
awesome
man.
to hear, man. I want to thank you because you've done a lot of things in your life, and I appreciate what you've done. So, 100% much respect to you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Of course.